To arrange these numbers in any sort of order, first we need to make sure that all numbers are in the same format. So let's change 5/10 to its decimal form. It's 5/10. So it's 0 point, and since it ends with tenths, there's only one decimal place value. So 0.5 is 5/10. So if you look at the first decimal place value of each of these numbers, they're all less than 5. So 0.5 would be the largest number. Now let's look at, so that's done. That's the largest number. Now let's look at this number, 0.49999. None of these numbers have a number 4 or greater in the first decimal place value. So 0.4999 will be the second largest number in this list. Now we are just left with the rest of the three numbers, 0.04999 and 0.0499 and then 0.05001. Now if you look at the list, up to the first decimal place value, there's no difference in the numbers. But if you look at the hundredths place, this is the tenths, this is the hundredths, notice that this is the largest. So the next larger number, so we're going in reverse order here, 0.5 is the largest, then the next, and then the next is 0.05001. So that's gone. Now we are just left with two numbers in the list. So let's look at these two and compare them digit by digit. And notice that, let me just change this. Okay, so the first digits, no difference. Second digits, or rather the first decimal place value, no difference. The hundredths place, no difference. The thousandths place, no difference. The 10,000ths place, no difference. And then finally, when we look at the next place value, this is the first number with the 3 nines is larger. So now we write down the next larger number. So that is 0.04999, and of course there's only one left, and that is the smallest number in the list. Now it's important to know how to round numbers, and you have to follow instructions carefully. So we have 12.7483 and we want to round it to the tenths place. So first identify the tenths place. Look one place value to the right, and this tells you that we need to round down, which means leave the 7 alone. And this is how we round decimal numbers. So if the question says round it to the tenths place, your final answer must have only the tenths place, nothing else. You just completely discard the rest of the decimal place values. Do not put zeros, because if you put the zeros, this will look like it has been rounded to the 10,000ths place. So do not put the decimals. So this tells me it's been rounded to the tenths place. Now let's round to the hundredths place. Look at 4.359. First identify the hundredths place. Look one place value to the right. 9 tells you add 1 to that particular place value. So we have 5 plus 1, 6. And then we have 4.36. So the next thing is 2.9597. We need to round it to the thousandths place. This is the thousandths place. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So look first for the thousandths place. One place value to the right tells you to add 1. Now when you add 1, do it the old-fashioned way. Get rid of that number. Do not replace it with a 0. 9 plus 1 is a 10. 5 plus 1 is a 6. And we get 2.960. Just like before, if the question says round it to the thousandths place, you need to make sure that your thousandths place is visible, right? Do not discard the thousandths place. Even if it is a 0, you still have to show it. So this sends a message that the number has been rounded to the thousandths place. Now let's round it to the thousandths place again. This is your thousandths place. Look for one place value to the right. It tells you to round down, which means you have 1.300. Rounding down means leaving the number alone. Now you might say that the 2 zeros at the end are not adding value to the number, right? The value is the same as 1.3, but you cannot discard the 2 zeros at the end because we want to show that we've rounded to the thousandths place, which means all 3 place values have to be visible, even if the last 2 are 0. So this is important. Now what if I have 3.9999 and I want to round it to the thousandths place? I look one place value to the right, which tells me to add 1 by rounding up to this particular place value. Discard the ending. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1 over. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1 over. 9 plus 1 is 10. And it becomes 4.000. Since I said round it to the thousandths place, do not discard these zeros. You need to keep them, even though they do not add value to the number, because this is the same as 4 in value. But the function of these 3 zeros is very important. They kind of send the message that the number has been rounded to the third decimal place value, which is the thousandths place.